Hey, it's about that time, 6:30. I'm going to call to order the Phoenix City Council for August 4th, 2025. Roll call, please.
Mayor Muhoffer,
I'm here.
Councillor Cambros. Here. Councillor Vermillion.
Here.
Councillor Suetos.
Here.
Councillor Chester.
Here.
Councillor Shunk.
Here.
And Councillor Dixon.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Very good. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Take your seats. All right, we have two presentations tonight. The first one, Chief Boker, please come forward. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. This evening, we have the pleasure of swearing in our newest officer, Officer Lucas Gomez. You can come on up, please. Officer Gomez, he is raised here in Rogue Valley. After he finished up his schooling, he joined the United States Marine Corps. Spent 4 years in the Marine Corps, came back to the Valley and decided that law enforcement was the career move he wanted to make. It's a pleasure to have him here. He's doing a great job. You may have seen him out on the road a little bit. He's been in our FTEP program now for a few weeks, and we expect him to be finished up with that here in a couple more weeks, and then he'll be solo on his own. So we're excited about that. So swear him in today. So Gomez, you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Lucas Gomez.
I, Lucas Gomez,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America.
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
The constitutional laws of the state of Oregon.
the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon,
The laws and charter of the city of Phoenix.
the laws and charter of the city of Phoenix,
And the rules and regulations of the Phoenix Police Department.
and rules and regulations of Phoenix Police Department,
And that I will, well and faithfully,
that I will willingly and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office to which I have been appointed
discharge the duties of the office of which I have been appointed
in and for the city of Phoenix,
in and for the city of Phoenix,
according to the law and to the best of my ability.
according to the law and to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. This next presentation I have, as many of you know, us as law enforcement, we deal with sometimes the less savory portion of the public. And we're put in situations that are very tough to handle and very dangerous. So it's my pleasure to call up these four officers and give them what will be my first combination medal that I've handed out since I've been chief. I've been chief for quite a while, but we recently instituted a new program, and so it's with my pleasure. I wish to call up Officer Matthew Curtis, Officer Cooper Camps, Officer Dave Van Busker, and Officer William Meyer. The citation reads as follows: certificate of commendation from the Police Chief, City of Phoenix Police Department. It takes pleasure in commending these four officers for service above and beyond. On June 6, 2025, these four officers were dispatched to a highly volatile and dangerous situation involving an agitated male armed with a handgun blocking traffic on I-5 near mile marker 25. Their ability to de-escalate the situation and safely subdue the subject without injury to themselves, the individual in distress, and the public is a testament to your exceptional training, judgment, and dedication to public safety. The calm yet commanding manner in which you handled this threat not only ensured the safety of those in the immediate area, but also reflected the highest standards of law enforcement service. Your actions that day embodied the core values of courage, integrity, and professionalism. Your conduct reflects great credit upon yourselves and the Phoenix Police Department. Thank you. Anytime, David.
Tell her.
Congratulations. Good job. Straight job.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, no, this is always a pleasure for us up here and as city manager to see a new officer come in. So congratulations, Lucas. Do you want to maybe get up and introduce your extended family here? It's pretty impressive group. Yeah, good talk.
So this is my dad. My little daughter. Bella, she's about to turn 2. This is my mom, Daryl. That's my beautiful wife, Jessica. This is my son. He's 7.
More. All right.
It's a great guy from Mexico.
Well, yeah, thanks, because they were without him, Lucas, for several weeks while he was up in Salem, and I'm sure with the size of the family, y'all pitched in and took care of things, and so thank you. It takes a lot to support an officer, and welcome to the PD. On all the others, with the recognition, de-escalation is the word these days, and when you're out there on the interstate and things are happening really quickly, it's amazing how that training can really kick in. So thanks for doing an excellent job on that. And you can just see this is a big family, the police department, and we appreciate that. So thank you all.
I just want to say, as mayor and on behalf of the council, we have the finest police force it's just amazing, because I go out, as I've told the chief, I go and check out all sorts of places, and all I do is get positive feedback that the police have been out here. If we ever have any problems, we call them. They're there, and very quickly. And we have a great family in our police officers department and all the family members of the police family. So it's great to see you all here. Thank you very much for your service. We really appreciate it. All right. Well, we're going to go on now to something totally different. Christina Lefevre is coming up to talk about the Pollinator Project. And Christina represents, as president of the Pollinator Project of the Rogue Valley, a great organization that's been here for several years now. And it's amazing. I've watched her start from, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, was it? Something like that. Anyway, it's grown. She's getting grants. She's developing so many programs. And something that I really appreciate is that you go out in Phoenix and help people create pollinator gardens. And that is really, really important, because a lot of people don't really want grass anymore. Times are changing.
Yes.
And so I really appreciate that. Okay, enough. Christina,
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you, Al, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and the city council members. And I'm really glad that I was here for this particular meeting to hear the presentation and the accolades to our finest, Phoenix finest who are helping us. So thank you very much for allowing me to come and speak with you. I am with Pollinator Project Rogue Valley. We are a nonprofit based in Phoenix. We've been in Phoenix since 2017. We started off on First Street in the building that has the purple banner around it now. And we've been doing a lot of programs. So I want to give you a little introduction to our organization and why I'm here. And then I'll show you a little bit about From Fire to Flowers. Some of you have a brochure. I didn't quite bring enough. So if you want to sort of just look at that and share, you can. It's the From Fire to Flowers brochure. So let me go ahead and get started. So as I said, we are a nonprofit. We've been a nonprofit since 2017, and hopefully you have this presentation there. Communities and landscapes working together, supporting diverse ecosystems rich with native plants and thriving native pollinators. We have a number of programs that we've been developing over the years. We are there beside the Cheese Cave. We share the suite with Be Sweet Bloom. So if you're looking for cheese or flowers, you can come and see our building. So these are some of the programs, our primary programs that we offer. Our youth education program called Pollinator Pals. Ethan and Eduardo are getting into schools, doing lots of education. Our From Fire to Flowers Pollinator Garden program, which is what I'll be talking to you about. Our adult education Habitat Academy. This was from a butterfly walk up on Mount Ashland this past summer. And then we have a small nursery beside our building. And many thanks to Subaru for supporting that particular endeavor. I should add that I am a volunteer, but I'm super proud that we have 3 staff people. So Ethan and Eddie and Kara, our nursery manager, are either full-time or 2 part-timers. And I actually could use another couple of people. Anyway, beyond that. So I'm going to slip in a couple of slides for y'all about why we even care about pollinators. And so if you don't know, 90% of all flowering plant species require pollination from a mammal, bird, or insect. Our food depends on it. The creatures that live around us depend on it. Even if you're a vegetarian, you think, even if you're a meat eater, you think often it's just vegetarians, but cows also depend on pollinators. Alfalfa leafcutter bees, the alkali bees out in Eastern Oregon, they are the ones that pollinate the alfalfa, which the cows eat. And then this is a picture of tarweed and native peoples. The tarweed seed is a source of protein. And so here's a picture of an apple with seeds and the mason bee here, which is actually a really super great pollinator. They are mutually dependent upon each other for the food that the flower produces, and then the seed that the plant then gets so that they can continue to reproduce. So as humans, because we're all human centric, these are some of the fruits and vegetables and coffee that pollinators around the world give us, and hopefully locally. They also pollinate the amazing native plants and flowers on our hillsides, holding the hillsides up, keeping the waterways clean, cleaning the air. The flowers, when you go on your wildflower walks, are being pollinated. They're major providers of food for birds, including a caterpillar. And one of the reasons that we think the birds are declining is because there's not enough food. And that could also be because there's not enough native plants that caterpillars eat to become butterflies and moths. So who are the pollinators? A lot of people think of the honeybee as the bee, as the pollinator. And actually, there are so many, many more from native bees, beetles, hummingbirds, hoverflies, there's other pollinating flies, butterflies and moths, even wasps are pollinators. For instance, regarding the honeybee, as I said, most people think of that. And in Oregon, we have 800 species of bees alone. I could have brought my poster, but I didn't. And so then all of the pollinators, as well as the birds and many other creatures, have local, native, global, and local challenges. Plants, think of Himalayan blackberries, other insects coming in, even light pollution is impacting moths. Mosquito zappers, I just put an article out on social media about that. And another challenge is people don't know. So what do pollinators need? They need what we need. They need food of different types, depending on what kind of pollinator they are. They need habitat. They need a place to live, depending on what pollinator they are. Most native bees nest in the ground, and those are bees, not wasps. They need moisture of some sort, and of course, they don't want pesticides. So then we had a fire. September 8 changed everything, a lot of things. And PPRV, Pollinator Project Rogue Valley, was a fairly small organization then. We're bigger now, and we didn't know what to do. And so we thought, well, we'll give away plants. So we did. So we had about 50 plants, 50 pairs of plants. So it was about 100 plants that we gave away to people during the month of May 2021. So we grew the majority of these plants. We potted them up. We had a little card. We had people come to our office. We went to places and gave away plants. But that was 2021, and it really wasn't. A lot of these people were still displaced, and it didn't really seem to make sense. So then we decided we're going to start our From Fire to Flowers pollinator garden program. And the purpose of that would be to do a lot more to restore the land. And at the same time, we're helping to restore people. So we started that, not really knowing what we're doing, but that's kind of typical, right? And so this is a picture. This is actually in Ashland, a group of volunteers. And we also have Vanessa Henson there, who couldn't be here today, working as an independent contractor with us. And the whole purpose is really to support the community, not only of pollinators, but of people too, and helping people understand the importance of our pollinators and learning about the native plants that can support them. So the way it works is we have someone express interest, they submit an application, we do a design, we figure out what needs to work, we create a design based on their specific place. We do the installation, we give them plant markers, we create a garden guide for them, we do check-ins. So this is one. Stella here. Okay, so Stella is, some of you know Stella. So this is her garden guide that we put together, showing the plants so that she can understand what she's got and how to keep them. And we do workshops occasionally to get people to learn more. This is our team: Vanessa Henson of C3 Enterprise, Ben I, and Teresa Fernandez of I Garden Design. When we started, we were working with Vanessa and Tina Beaver in the red on the lower, and she's not able to work with us now. So since 2021, November 2021, we've completed 17 gardens. 10 of them are in Phoenix, 7 in Ashland. Actually, they're all at the Bear Creek Mobile Home Park, the first place that burned. And we have 2 more to do there this fall. So we're estimating we've planted almost 500 plants, 71 species. We've added seeds. We've had volunteers, including 2 SOU classes with Dr. Chaya Werner, and I don't know, 1,000 hours. Sure. So what I'm going to do is show you really quickly the ones that are in Phoenix. This is before and the day after, or the day of, I should say, the day we finished planting. So May 2025, we started with this particular one, and this is what it looked like a couple of weeks later. February 2025 to April 25. So you can see sometimes it would take multiple months. Other times it happened pretty quickly. This one, Ava's one here, February 2023, it took us a year because she had some structural work and she was trying to figure out steps and all that stuff. And then the one in the middle, it also took almost a year. The next one was pretty small. This was, you'll see some of these photos again a little bit later. So these are making a difference in people's, this is Stella's garden here, so. Now this slide is more or less current. Patty's picture up in the left corner, I took that a couple months ago, I think, no, maybe a month ago. So all of these are relatively current for those gardens that we just saw. The one on your right is the newest, so it has a lot, next year is going to look a lot different. And if you're interested, I won't spend a lot of time, but you can just see here. Let's see, can I open that link? Oh, the link isn't there now. Okay. Interesting. I don't know why, what would have happened, why it didn't work. So these are some testimonials from some of the people who we've worked with. Mike Skinner is the owner of the Bear Creek Mobile Home Park. And then these are the organizations, the funders who are supporting us in some way. Some of them are still current, some of them are previous. And if you're interested in learning more, let's see, is this link happening? That's weird. I don't know why it didn't happen in the PDF. Usually they stay. So this is our From Fire to Flowers page on our website. I invite you to go to that website. If you were to scroll, if this was the website page, you could scroll down and there would be photo albums of most of the people you just saw from start to finish. So you could see, nothing to something growing, and you would see what happened all in between. There's actually even a chart of what the plants are. And if you're interested in exploring this whole situation further in your website, Rosa, what I think I'll do is send you a PDF with links so that people, I don't, usually when I make a PDF, the links stay. This one, I don't know what happened.
And then I can send it out.
Yeah, so I will get that for you. So that is the presentation. Thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful. Hopefully it's helping the city of Phoenix people and pollinators at the same time. If you're interested in a brochure, I have one for our organization. We're helping to create connections on the buzzway so a butterfly can fly from Ashland to Grants Pass and beyond. Thank you so much. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you. Any specific questions for her? And I didn't realize it's been 8 years is what you're saying. All right,
Yeah.
much longer.
Time flies.
It does. I didn't realize it was that long. Yes, Larry.
A question. I live over on the east side and I'm bombarded with pest control people.
Oh, yeah.
How's that affecting what you're trying to do? It just seems like it's counterproductive.
It's totally counterproductive. People will not, I've had it happen to me. People will knock on my door and say, I'm sure you need to get rid of your spiders. And spiders are one of the best indicators of a healthy ecosystem, which people don't realize. You may not want them in your house, which I understand, but having them outdoors. So there's a lot of education, I suppose, that could be done. And there are, more biologically friendly ways of dealing with some of them. But I just saw a headline and I haven't gone back to read it. But one of the reasons they think that the monarchs declined so drastically a couple of years ago is because of pesticides. And it's not necessarily just because the monarch itself was sprayed. That's pretty direct. And that's that's almost impossible to spray every monarch. But there is indication that insecticides will be in plants that you purchase from the nursery. And so if the butterfly or the caterpillar, either one, is eating a contaminated plant, then that has sublethal effects and it can impact not only that butterfly or whatever is eating it for current days and then also, in the generations later. I could tell you another story if you really want to hear, but there's more information on our website about the neonicotinoids, which are really the ones that impact insects a lot. And that's one of the most, it is the most widely used insecticide in the world. Even humans consume that too because of the way it's used. So there's lots there. I'd love to talk to you further if you want more information about that.
I think there's 3 homes on my street that have pollinator gardens. On
Awesome.
Samuel, where Patty and Stella and Fred.
That's
Yes, yeah. I walk past them all the time.
See? And so you can
Yes.
see pollinators there, right?
Yes, yeah, actually, you go a little bit wide because the bees are really enjoying those plants. Yes.
The bees, generally speaking, bees will not impact you at all. They're not
Yeah.
going to attack you. Wasps are different. They can be dangerous, especially around this time of year when it's hot and they don't have a lot of food. But bees, for the most part, care so little about
Mhm.
people. Sometimes people wearing perfume might attract them, but bees are after the pollen and they're after the nectar, and most people don't have either one. So
Can I ask you, do the swallowtail butterflies fare better than monarchs, or we just have a little bit more around here? Because I see those much more.
they probably fare a little better because they're more of a generalist. The caterpillar can eat willows and rose families. The monarchs can only eat milkweed as a caterpillar. It's not the butterfly, it's the caterpillar that is a specialist. That you call those host plants. The milkweed is a host plant for the milkweed. I did it backwards. The milkweed is a host plant for the monarch. And so then the caterpillar, but then the butterfly could fly to different flowers. And then so the swallowtail caterpillar can eat multiple plants. But there's other plants and other caterpillars, butterflies, that have that host plant specificity. So something that I find fascinating is, for instance, the great spangled fritillary. The butterfly is so beautiful, and the caterpillar can only eat one plant, and that's a native violet. So if you don't have native violets, you're not going to have a fritillary mama come through and go, "Oh, let me lay my egg here," because there's no violets. Anyway, I could keep talking, but you probably need to do business. Thank you for having
Any
me.
other
Question.
questions?
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, so it's, thanks for your work and this impressive display of, the time capsule.
Thank
I
you.
was out today just driving around looking at kind of post disaster and all of the new housing that we see
Yeah.
and lack of trees specifically. And
Yes.
I guess, what does it take is it easy to get permission from people to do these kind of things, or what's
To do the garden
Yeah.
and the trees. I will tell you, when we first started doing this, I thought we would have more people wanting to do it. I think that now there's so much still, it's easier not to have a garden, to be honest with you, to be totally honest with you. It's easier to have nothing because then you don't have to do anything. But it's so depressing when we go into the neighborhoods that do have the gardens where we're working, and especially in Phoenix, because we've had a fire and people aren't really sure what to do.
Yeah.
And so you see rocks and rocks and rocks where you see cement. It hurts my heart because that's not how we're really supposed to live. But so is it easy to get people to want to do this? I don't know. I can't answer that. It depends on how people want to do it. The lack of trees is something that we can do something about. Mike Oxendine and our community forestry is doing an awesome job getting them in. And actually, I'll just say this, since you brought it up about the trees, we have an opportunity to actually get a grant to help grow trees. So I would love to work with the city and be able to put in more garden space. We have great volunteers. I have new volunteers, and I'm thinking, gosh, I hope I have something to keep them busy. So maybe we need some space to help put in some more gardens and help educate people. So I don't know, did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. It's like, even, a tree from a practical perspective, shade,
Oh, it's amazing. Yes.
it's,
We need more
if
trees.
there's a way that we can encourage
Yes.
that, I think,
Yeah.
be all for that. So
Yeah, I
that
think
keeps
so
us in
too.
the loop, yeah.
And it counts for you as a city because then you're helping, mitigate the impact from climate change. And there's grants out there for cities that are doing green infrastructure.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
Tree
that.
Tree City
that-
designation is a way to also
Yeah,
accomplish
exactly.
this, yeah.
Yeah. So I hope, yeah, thank you.
And I might add that Parks and Recs is putting in more trees at Blue Heron Park. And their chair is here, Pam Thornhill, hearing that. So we appreciate it. And we do need more trees everywhere. Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah.
How can we, as we go forward, like with the new parks that will be built in the future, how can we go forward with including pollinator gardens in those plans?
Well, I think, yeah, it's very necessary. I think any way we can use public space to educate, like you said,
Yeah.
get people the information that they would be comfortable with doing it at their own house. So I think it's a great idea to,
Yeah.
we were doing it with Blue Heron already. It's been,
We've been working more, not with cities or agencies as a small nonprofit trying to figure things out, a small nonprofit that's growing. But you have a Bee City USA Phoenix. It's not part of the city anymore. But the Xerces Society, which is a national nonprofit, they have the Bee Cities. I think there's got to be more than 200 now, the last time I checked. I'm, quote, part of the Bee City USA Ashland, but Ashland has been having some delays and things. And so it's not really functioning right now. And I'm too busy right now anyway to continue with the Ashland, unfortunately, although we really should get that going. Bee City USA Phoenix is going. And so that is another opportunity to get people aware. We're really focusing on the native plants. I'm not saying that you can't have non-natives. I have non-natives in my yard. But what we're trying to do is bring in the native aspect because that's really what is here in our ecosystem. We're here in Southern Oregon. We're here in the Klamath-Siskiyou bioregion, one of the most biodiverse regions in the world. I come from Georgia. I know what it looks like when you have no diversity in the landscape because everything looks almost the same. So we have the opportunity here in Phoenix and in Southern Oregon to help keep it the way this place is. You can look up in the mountains and you can go up just a few thousand feet, not even that far, but you can go up and you see so many more butterflies. We have a lot of concrete, we have a lot of pesticides, we have a lot of non-native plants. And so even just starting to bring in more pollinator plants, hopefully a lot of them are native. If you're interested in reading more about this, one of the best people to talk about is Dr. Doug Tallamy. He's on the East Coast, but he's really the one who got this movement started. Probably one of the reasons I'm sitting here is because I read his book way back a long time ago. So there's a lot to it. And there's a lot of people that know a heck of a lot more than I do. But I can tell you that we could do more as a society to think about how we can integrate into the larger ecosystem for the benefit of all of us.
And I think Susan, to answer your question, we have to look at parks master planning and make sure that the term pollinator perhaps is in there and trees and so forth. So when we plan and or update our existing parks, we need to make sure that those points are addressed, and they're listed, and we have to make conscious decisions regarding trees and pollinator plants and, all the other issues.
When does that occur, that process?
Well, we have a Parks Master Plan update, and you did look at it, you got a briefing on it. I don't remember how much is addressed with, I think trees and pollinators are in there, right?
I'm assuming so.
I think they're in there, yeah. So, but as we get farther down the road, we need to address that during the planning process.
Yeah, like the specifics, like we just
Yeah.
did a general.
Right, yeah. And also, we're getting into strategic planning, and we could spend a lot of time in
Oh, that's right.
addressing all these areas, and that's a whole nother subject. Yeah.
I would be thrilled to come and talk with you all. I would love to talk about the new park. I've got some other ideas, so.
Right. So I think when we're at that point, we need to call in, people that you are somewhat of an expert. I know you deny that, but you are. Call in those people for, recommendations and so forth. And So that'll be part of the process. I
Okay.
think that makes sense to me.
I'd be interested if there's an intersection of pollinator plants that are also more fire resistant.
I was wondering if anyone would ask about that. Most native plants, not all native plants, are more fire adapted and they have the ability to withstand a fire. That doesn't mean they don't ignite. But there are a lot of non-natives that I can say they ignite. And you can probably think of a few. So, that's not the panacea. I know, keeping the plants away from your house. But I think a lot of them are more adapted to it. There are some that are less fire resistant, or more fire resistant, I guess, less flammable. I'm not an expert on that. On our website in the resources, Rachel Werling, who was the coordinator for the Land Stewards Program, she did an excellent presentation on fire reluctant, is what she called it, fire reluctant plants for the landscape. And the majority of those, in fact, I think all of them were natives. And then she also explained that not only, for instance, is a manzanita a good plant for a landscape, for the beauty of the plant, but also for the pollinators. And so fire is a major thing, but so is emotional and mental health. I don't know, did I answer your question?
Yeah, I wonder if there's an intersection where we can have pollinated.
Yes, oh, yeah,
There's never gonna be a perfect, this one doesn't catch it. Well, in fact, some plants need fire to disperse seeds.
That's
and
correct.
Seeds, so I understand that. However, I wonder if there's an intersection
Mhm.
between the two.
yeah. And, Ashland has an excellent plan as to how far back plants are supposed to be. So, although thinking about people who are living in mobile home parks, for instance, if you were to go the required distance, you wouldn't have a garden.
Mhm.
So one has to think about where one lives as well.
Okay, any other comments or questions? If not,
Thank you all very much for your time.
thank you, Christina. Appreciate it. Good. All right. We're going to move on to public comments. The first person is Tony Chavez. Please come up, Tony. You have 3 minutes to talk to us about, I think it's probably a special project, I'm
Yes.
guessing. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Tony Chavez, 210 North Church. I don't know if you remember, we've been working with the Phoenix High School Marching Band. Their sole source of revenue has been the fireworks stand, and we've been trying to get them independent supplement funds for that. Earlier this year, they did their first public performance or their first non-school public performance at our car show, and they did a great job. Eric Heron from the Foodery invited them to perform at the Foodery. They did a great job there. We're doing it again, August 26th. They're really excited. They're going to be finishing up their band camp, so they've got some special razzle dazzle stuff they want to do. We would like to see all of you there, and there is a process to do that. If it's noticed correctly, you can all be there and not cause an issue with the quorum. So every meal and every beverage sold, they get $1. So please show up. Please bring your family. The kids are great. The other thing we're working on is we had our first meeting with all the marching band directors in the Valley, and we are going to start an annual battle of the marching bands
Oh, fun.
at the Foodery. So collectively, that's about 250 kids. So it's going to take some coordination, but all the band directors are excited, the kids are excited, the parents are excited. So that'll be May 9th when that happens. When it gets closer, we'll notice you guys. So, but we'd really like to see you show up on August 26th to support the Phoenix kids. Rosa and Al know how to notice that properly. So if you can make it, please do. But that's it.
Thank you, Tony. I'll be there. Again, I keep on using the word historic. We've never had anything like this before in Phoenix. They just keep coming. This is a great, great idea. And, you know, again, it's bringing the kids into the community downtown, okay? Which I love. I think that's critical. So I'll be there. You know, I can't miss this. This is fun. So
Yeah, I
Well, with
think
the
this
past
is
two
great, too.
events, we were able to write the kids a check for $5,600, I believe.
Wow.
great.
That was two events.
That's good.
And they are going to be a regular part of our car show. So
Okay.
they'll be performing again. I'll notice you guys when that's going on. But yeah, and they're excited. They're jazzed about it. So
Good.
Yeah, I'm really glad to hear they're looking and finding other ways to raise money other than firework sales, because that just seemed problematic for our community. So I think the community wants to support the marching bands, and this sounds like a great avenue to go down.
it is. We're doing it. Our first meeting that we had of the battle, all the directors were there. Eric Heron was there. Maggie, the assistant director. We kind of came out with a layout plan of the kids. They're the color guard, that's the flag.
Mhm.
They're going to have their own independent display there. And our goal is at the end of the battle, we're going to take all the seniors from all the bands and they're going to perform together, all the schools.
Okay.
Where did you say
That's
this
it.
was going to be?
I'm sorry?
Where was the event? At the Foodery?
At the Foodery.
We're doing.
They're all going to fit there? I'm thinking jam shell.
Let them work it out. I know.
Okay.
Let them work it out. Thank
Okay.
We'll
you.
work on it.
All right.
I like it. Thanks.
That's another reason to come. Just to see how they do it. All right. Should be quite interesting. All right. We have another person who wants to come up and talk to us, Nancy Olson Jones. Nancy, please come forward. And you're from the Bear Creek Valley Rotary, it says. So tell us what's on your mind, please.
I'm Nancy Olson Jones, and my address is 1021 Beeson Lane, Talent. I am here representing the Bear Creek Valley Rotary. Just a little bit of background. I taught in Phoenix for 40 years. My heart is in this community. I went to school here. One of the things that even when I was teaching, and I think I've been retired almost 15 years, was that we didn't have things for our kids to do. I live in Talent. Talent has a water park. Talent has a skate park. Our kids from Phoenix, we need to do better by them. And so the Bear Creek Valley Rotary just last week had a 4-hour visioning conference workshop, and we have done projects in the past, and we are ready to start a new project. We're not worried about if it looks like it's too big for us to handle. Our Rotary Club started Blue Heron Park. It was nothing but gravel and star thistles and rocks. And look at it now. Our Rotary Club started at Phoenix Elementary, a backpack program, which is now called Rogue Power Pack. It has gotten so big that it goes through Access. We provide backpacks for kids on the weekends so that they have food that they don't have to cook, that they can fix, and so that they will have food over the weekends. I think it's about 600 kids, I think, that we're we're now giving backpacks to. So our new project is that we voted unanimously, and we want to try to see what we can do to get a splash pad or a water park in Phoenix for our kids. We think it's important that kids have a place to go. I think that we serve a lot of the people in our community, and I was real excited when I thought we were going to get a YMCA here, and I see that. So this is something that I think is doable. This is something that our Rotary Club really wants to do and to be a part of. We'd like to work with the city. We'd like to work with Parks and Rec. I'm here because I figured if anybody knew how to get us started, you guys were it. So that's why I'm here tonight. I just need to be pointed in a direction. There are Rotary grants that are available. I know there are some like state parks and rec grants that are available. So we're ready to get started.
Okay. And in response, I'm going to be speaking to your group on the 28th at noon. And let's start a dialogue then. All right?
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Appreciate you.
Good.
Thank you also for the time that you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you for what you've done.
All right. That's just perfect timing.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to the consent agenda. I'm going to pull B, the Parks and Recs Committee application for Liam Shunk. We'll address that afterwards. So that leaves the A and C. Unless somebody wants to pull A and C, I'm open for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay.
Thank you. Roll call.
Was that Cambros who seconded or Chester? Was that? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Counselor Cambros?
Yes.
Counselor Vermillion?
Yes.
Counselor Swatos?
Yes.
Counselor Chester?
Yes.
Counselor Shunk?
Yes.
And Counselor Dixon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, great. That takes us to item 6. Liam, would you please come up, and we'd like to get to know you. So we have your application, but we haven't heard anything from your dad. Obviously, everyone needs to know his father's right here, but his father is, probably it's just going to abstain, I would imagine.
Would I approve of the balance?
You do. I had to have some fun with you. So anyway, Liam, tell us about yourself. We've seen your application, but what are your thoughts about Parks and Recs? And you got it.
So I've been looking for something to do recently, and I just saw that the Parks Committee, it seemed like something great that I could volunteer in. I've been I've always lived around Culver Park, and I've really enjoyed being able to take my dogs there to walk and hang out there. And it's been a great place and to be, and I think that it would be a really great thing to help out the development and help out the development of Culver Park and Blue Heron and Autocaster as well. I believe that I believe that I could be of use to the Parks Committee.
Well, I can certainly say we need some younger talent, and everyone's nodding behind you and probably up here too. So, yeah, because, it's great to have the volunteers we have, but I'd like to see a broad selection of people, and we need a younger perspective on things. So I'm really glad that you're here. Anyone have any specific questions?
I like your ideas for themed runs for farmers markets, which we've had in the past. I love that idea, and I so appreciate it. I'm coming in. Liam is coming in the building, goes back out and opens the door for me, and a gentleman on top of it.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any
I
other?
just have one question.
Yeah.
If you were to be given this position, would you still be able to do your chores at home?
Yes.
I overrule that. I overrule that question.
Well, I think it's great that you have interest in this position and that you want to get involved with the community. And I also am a daily Culver Dog Park person, so I also love that park, and I know what you mean by you just want to help support it. And we're going to have new parks being built in the next few years, so your views and perspective on that will be useful as well. So thank you for wanting to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, if there are no further questions, can I have a motion, please?
I move to approve Liam Schunk for Parks and Rec Committee.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Counselor Cambrose,
Yes.
Counselor Chester,
Yes.
Counselor Swatos,
Yes.
Counselor Vermillion,
Yes.
Counselor Shunk,
Abstain?
and Counselor Dixon.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Congratulations.
you, Liam.
Good. That's great news. I love it. All right.
Say something.
Of course. Please.
I was reading number 10 and it says, how did you hear about the position? And I was reading that and it said, my dad, I thought it was to say, my dad told me to do it.
Volunteer.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great. Okay. Well, let's go on to things that are sort of related to what we just talked about. New business. Okay, Pam, please come on up. Pam Thornhill, Chair of Parks and Recs. Request to extend park hours and modify lighting schedule.
Hi, I think you all have, oh, well, this is gonna be a twofer. Because last city council meeting, we decided not to have a liaison to the Parks and Rec Committee. So we're getting both things at once, because I'm gonna fill you in with what we've been doing more recently. And then I would like to ask for this extension. In your packet, you have the can we put that on the screen? The flyer for series of programs that we've developed for the summer on very short notice, I have to say. And so we've also included a description. I mean, if you're, all this information is included in the QR code, but some people aren't really fans of that. So we've printed out all the information about the different events. And the first one, which we're encouraging anybody who's at all interested in the wetlands and blue heron and the berm or the rubble to go on this tour, because Robert Coffin, who is a spokesperson for Save the Phoenix Wetlands, will be giving background information about the wetlands there and the namings of the creeks and the number of creeks that have been cold water springs that have been identified since the fire. And I think that's going to be a great tour. And then the second one on the 23rd of August is going to be a birding workshop, and they're going to give some information about the birds that are, can be seen in the park and how to, participate in birding events. And then they're going to supply binoculars and go on a walk through the park and identify some birds. And I think that'll be a great event. And then the third one, which will, I'll refer to later, is the Southern Oregon Skywalk Watcher. Oh, the birding is Klamath Bird Observatory is putting that on. And then the third one is the Southern Oregon Sky Watchers are going to bring telescopes, hopefully. And I mean, they'll bring telescopes, and we would like to have it in Culver Park because it's a slightly darker venue than Blue Heron is pretty lit up at night. I mean, there's outside lighting and some of the shelters are lit up and I think the bathroom is lit up. It's impossible to do it there. And they have a number of telescopes and and I went to one of their gatherings up on Shell City Road, which is a much darker area, but it was wonderful. I mean, there were 3 people up there with telescopes and we were looking at the moon and they had them directed at different star and constellations and they change it all the time. And I think that's going to be there's been a lot of interest in that just because it's different and we haven't done that before. And then on the 6th of September, we would like to present a workshop on the pollinators. And that will be, I'm spacing out his name. Who's doing that? Ethan Robinson from Pollinator Project Rogue Valley. He's a wonderful educator and he presents to kids in a wonderful way. If you've ever seen him in any of the workshops up in, on Earth Day, or we went up and did a moth workshop up on above Shell City Road. And it was great. I mean, it was so fun and the kids had so much fun. They put up screens and threw lights on the screens, which attracted moths, and they had locations in wooded areas and they had locations in meadow areas, and they compared the different moths and the kids were running around in the dark and having a great old time. So that was something that was really popular. So, I mean, in terms of just a quick update about what we've been doing is we had a slight surplus at the end of our fiscal year, and we were asked to present 5 items for the strategic plan that we would like to see improved in the parks. And one of them was planting shade trees around the band shell because it's so hot there, as we all have found out with the concerts in the park. So with that surplus, we asked if we could not use that to plant 5 shade trees. So we got a bid from Plan Oregon and with the help of the administration, because that all had to be expedited in a very short time frame. We've purchased 5 shade trees that'll be planted in the fall to provide additional shade. And we're hoping that that's, it'll take a while, but they're supposed to be fast growing. They'll be planted in the fall where they grow, which is the best time to plant the trees. And, I think we can adjust with Chris's expertise and other people's, we can adjust the trees depending on what everybody has decided will be the best shade, fast growing trees for the park. And so those are the main things that we're doing. And then at our next meeting, I haven't talked to him yet, but we're going to be having a planning visioning kind of meeting ahead of our regular meeting. And so that will be, we're listening as hard as we can and trying to figure out what we can do for the next fiscal year and, budgeting and deciding on events, considering old events and new events, depending on the new members' interests. And then once again, we will be losing one of our parks members. So we'll be also searching for a new parks member. We would like to request a special use permit because the hours of the park are from dusk till dawn. And obviously, we're going to have to do it a little bit later. I think we will be providing some lanterns on the way in. We'll possibly, light up necklaces and we've requested that people Dress warmly, bring long chairs or a blanket and a flashlight and prepare to look up. And all events are subject to clear skies. So we are hoping that we could get a special permit to put this event on, you know, on the allotted time and date.
Any questions or of Pam before we?
I just wonder, the start time for the Zoom in on the night sky is at 7:30, an hour or so before it gets dark. What will keep people busy? Or is it just gathering until it
I
gets
think
dark?
it's mostly, you know, we'll be gathering and setting up chairs and discussing the sky.
Okay.
They have developed a presentation for the evening.
Okay.
So that will be beginning then.
I love these ideas.
I think that's the one that we've gotten a lot of feedback about, I have to say.
I think this is a great idea.
Great.
I'm in huge support of this, and I think setting up before it gets dark is also a good idea because then people can see, like some of us walk the fields out there. Sometimes there's a little rut in the ground or something. So, you know, I think there was commentary in the notes here about it being hard for people to see in the field, but once you're settled in, I've gone to events like this before too. It's literally like you camp out, you find it's like going to the beach, you find your little spot, you sit down, you stay there. So
Yeah.
I think making an exception just for the time of this event sounds reasonable to me.
Okay, any other comments?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have, oh, okay. In lieu of, the fires, Northern California, around here, the smoke, the way it lingers in the valley. Would that be enough for you to, maybe if you have to cancel or anything like that, because we don't want to, our folks to be out there and.
I think we will, in terms of the visibility, we'll listen to the people in the Oregon Sky Watchers.
Okay.
But if it's hazardous and for smoke, we would cancel them. We purchased sandwich boards to place at the entrance to the park and then where the event is. So for each event, we'll have something like when they're at Blue Heron, we'll have something at the entrance of the park and describe, maybe a banner across that says, pollinators here or bird watching today, and then where the event is being held, there'll be another sandwich board so people know where to go. And we're hoping that works well. Thank you to Rosa, who's just broken her back to get all that's done at the last minute. We have some really nice big posters, and if this is approved tonight, we'll be using the bilingual poster and putting it up around town.
Okay, go ahead.
I think this is a beautiful idea. It's utilizing the parks, it's getting people together, building community. It's hot during the day, so it's a great time to get out. All the weather's cool as well, and then everybody enjoys stargazing. I think the timing's great. Could you go through a little bit, with people of all ages that are going to be accessing this and any uneven terrain or, because stargazing, you need to turn the lights off. Light pollution is a major factor in being able to see the night sky. What kind of safety considerations for all stargazers that might be coming if the lights are off?
Well, we'll be talking to people about the uneven ground. We will have a couple of lanterns out to guide them there. We'll ask them to avoid the bioswale that runs along the pathway there.
You could
So
perhaps use the baseball field for people in wheelchairs or who have walkers, because they just redid it recently and it's nice and smooth.
Yeah, so, yeah.
It's not far from the parking lot either.
What's that?
It's not far from the parking lot either.
Yeah, exactly. You could take the trail to get there.
Yeah.
And requesting people to bring flashlights is.
Yes,
is
blankets, flashlights, and chairs.
Eric, did you want to make?
No, that was just Mike explained kind of our concern about safety. So I think
Yeah.
just we'll work together and make sure we do the best we can. I don't know exactly how they can turn lights on and off, but we'll figure that out.
That's my question. Are they on a timer where you can, once the event's done, you can turn them on, or are they off all night?
Well, you got some that the city owns and maintains, and then you have the ones that are, the utility company has it in there. And then you got subdivisions on both sides.
Yeah, there's ambient light on both sides, so it's not gonna be pitch black.
Yeah.
And when I went down there real late at night, there were just mainly the lights on the bathroom and the concession stand that were on. So if those could be turned off, that'd be really helpful.
Okay, yeah, I think we can do that.
On if it's a full moon night or not, that's an
No,
extra
it-
lighting on a
That's a
full
good
moon
question.
night.
It's not a full moon night.
Okay.
But there's I'm not really an astronomer, but there are some Pleiades, is that right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think there are
There's
Pleiades
two
at that
sets going
time.
on right now.
And there's, when the moon is not full and it's waning, I think is the prime time. You can view the moon really well and see all the craters, and that's really exciting for kids who haven't really spent time looking through a telescope. And so, yeah, you can see a lot of different configurations.
I'd like to volunteer your new Parks and Rec committee member to carry a lantern if anybody doesn't bring a flashlight to get them safely to the viewing area.
Yes. Escorts, we'll have to have some volunteer team up there.
We've got a lantern and a kid.
Well, you could encourage people to wear to bring LED lights and stuff that you can turn off, or headlamps with the red instead of the white light. And
Right.
I mean, there's if you go to a silent disco, anybody here done that? It's it's pretty dark out there when you do that kind of stuff. And it's the low lights. And then if you're hey, we're going to look at the sky now, everybody turn your lights off. That would work, and people would still have them if something happened.
Yes.
And then of course the city would be aware this event is occurring. How long is it? 2 hours, 4 hours?
I think it's a couple hours.
Okay.
Chief, did you have anything you wanted to say? Go ahead. Come on up.
My first question would be, I assume since you don't want the lights on in bathrooms, that we're not gonna have bathrooms open. Because that is where the majority of the tripping and hazards are, and those lights, if bathrooms are gonna be open, those lights on.
Well, I hadn't really worked it all the way through there, but yeah, I think it would be a good idea to close the bathrooms. I mean, it's a couple hours people can manage, I hope.
Okay, my second, question or comment would be, if we are leaving the park open, that means anybody's gonna be able to come in. I mean, non-stargazers.
Well,
The
the
park's
parks,
open, it's a-
there's not a chain across the park. Anybody can come anytime.
Well, no, but our guys go there at night and pick anybody out that's in the park. But I'm gonna tell them to stay away while
Right.
you guys are at doing
Yes.
this. So if anybody else comes into the park, we're not gonna be able to.
Right. It's
You
open.
guys
to the-
understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanna make sure.
Those are great concerns, Chief. Thank you.
But,
Thank you. Those are well, I appreciate it.
Okay. Any other comments or questions here on it? If not.
I move to extend the park hours on August 30th, 2025 to allow the park committee to hold its Zoom in on this night sky event with the understanding that the park light will remain on their normal schedule.
No, I don't think the light should remain on.
Yeah.
What?
I thought we were gonna have the lights turned off. So
I'm just reading the proposed motion.
I know, I don't
You can
agree with that
adjust
motion.
yourself.
With that, yeah.
We can make a new, would you like to make a new motion?
I guess, is that how this?
You want to change this motion?
Yes, I would.
It's on page 43 if you don't.
I'm writing it right here. I
Yes.
said that park light will remain on.
All right.
They're asking that the park light remain on.
Go ahead and change the motion.
Okay, I move to extend the park hours on August 30th, 2025 to allow the park committee to hold its Zoom in on the night sky event with the understanding that the park light will remain off during the event.
Yes.
I second.
Sorry, I didn't even think about it. It's right.
Okay, thank you.
Does
You get
something
that,
have
Rosa?
to happen with the first motion?
Yeah, okay, good. A roll call, please. Then.
Counselor Chester,
Yes.
Counselor Shunk,
Yes.
Counselor Cambrose,
Yes.
Counselor Swatos.
Yes.
Counselor Vermillion
Yes.
and Counselor Dixon.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Great. All right. Thank you,
And then,
Pam.
in addition, I'd like to suggest that we develop possibly an administrative procedure to create, to make it possible to have special events in the park without having to go to the city council every time. So that's just, I think hopefully there will be other events, discos, movies, those kinds of things. And this was delayed because you didn't have a meeting, your last meeting was canceled, so that was delayed a month. And if there was an administrative way to process these requests, I think it would be helpful.
Well, yeah, normally you wouldn't have to come. It's just because the park was closed by ordinance. And so that's why the council had to get involved in this one specific issue. But for the other programs, there's been no requirement for the council to approve it.
No, I just mean if there were night events,
Other
evening
night
events.
events,
Yeah, not all of them would, but if you had movies in the park, that would have to be at dusk, I would
Yeah.
think.
Well, right now, I believe it's by ordinance that, I don't know whether, is the chief here?
Right there.
But is it by ordinance right now that if the park is closed? Okay, so that's Pam, that's why you're here.
All right.
It's by order. We'd have to change the ordinance. I guess the point is, if this occurs quite often, maybe we'll look at a permit process, but right now it's rather unique. You're the first one, another historic thing here in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'd probably leave it the way it is right now, but
Okay.
I understand your request if we are,
Yeah.
looking at this all the time.
Well, we've been working on a really short time frame here.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we're all new members and we were trying to do all this in a very short period of time. So it was critical at that
I
point.
think it's a great
Yeah.
job and it's a nice array of activities
Good.
and
Thank you.
using
Yeah, I
our
mean-
resources really well.
We want people to be able to look at the park in it with, besides playing in the gym, playing on the playground and things like that, but to see the natural world around them and to know what is the park is supporting, the birds, the pollinators, all those things that are going on. So
I love it. Yeah.
Nice.
It's similar to like over in Ashland where they have like the Salmon Fest and,
Yes. yes.
different things at different parks. You don't know about the Salmon Fest?
Well, no,
Yeah, you
wait, no, let's not get into that here. You can talk to her. No, please, I'm sorry. We have
Thank
to
you.
continue. Thank you very much, Pam. No.
Thank you for what
All
you've
right,
done.
we're gonna continue. You can.
All right. Yeah, I will.
All right, we're gonna move ahead here and the next thing is city attorney approval. And Eric, I'm gonna turn it
Sure.
over to you.
Thank you. Why don't I go ahead and introduce, if you want to come up, and I think we've got an extra chair.
Yeah, we probably need two chairs there. Rosa's getting the second one. Or you want to use the smaller? Okay, Hannah, you're okay with it? Hannah's gonna take, no, she's gonna take that one. Well, no, come on. I mean, you're attorneys, I want you to be at the same level. Okay? Go, Eric, go ahead.
Yeah,
and,
so
I'll make some.
To your right,
comments.
Jacqueline Bunick, and to your left, Hannah Harding. And I'm gonna just explain the process that we've gotten to this point so far. It was an RFP, similar to the process that the Urban Renewal Group, went through to select commercial real estate. So we put that out and they responded. We had extensive amount of things that we were requiring. One was that they would also do urban renewal. This role would do urban renewal. And so we have one attorney for both boards, which I think was more efficient. And yeah, so extensive process. The mayor and I were involved. Rosa kept us straight on all the specifics, logistics and getting the information out, did a great job. And so we're here before you to recommend that the city move forward with the appointment of these two, or the firm, and to proceed, for me to proceed ahead with an agreement. And so that we can get them on board as soon as possible. And I don't know if you guys wanted to give a quick introduction, and then, just have a conversation. I think would be important at this point, so.
Yes. So as Eric mentioned, my name is Jacqueline Bunick. I am a partner at Jarvis Glady Bunick. I've been practicing for just about 12 years in the Valley. Went to school up at the University of Oregon for law school. Undergrad is from the University of Notre Dame in Indiana. My background started in trial work. So I was a public defender for several years, absolutely loved it. And then moved into private practice. I was able to work with another attorney who represented multiple cities and special districts, and fell in love with that type of work. So took on representing, I currently represent 2 cities and 2 special districts. Hannah joined our firm in 2024 in January. Time flies. Is that right?
It's been over a year and a half. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so before she came on board, I said, hey, do you want to do municipal work? I want to kind of grow this part of our practice. And she said, absolutely. So we've kind of been tag teaming, and that's one of the things that we feel like we have to offer, is that there are 2 of us. The intention is that I would be primary counsel. So we like to have one line of communication to keep things clear. And Hannah would technically serve as backup counsel, but we would expect that you would be seeing both of us somewhat regularly. It allows us to be a little bit more flexible when we have other commitments, and to make sure that we're responding to your needs as quickly as possible. It would be our goal to, anything that you need, that we're able to get back to you within a day or 2. Obviously with larger projects, we would expand out on those based on your timelines and our timelines as well. So that's our intention. Do you want to give a little bit about your background?
Sure, yeah. I've been a lawyer since 2018. So going on 7 years now, I think that makes it. Before joining Jarvis Glady Bunick, I did do municipal work as well, working at the city attorney's office in the city of Medford. And so, and before that, I worked as clerkship for a federal judge here in town. So quite a bit of experience in the municipal and government realm. And it's been a pleasure to join the firm. I also do some real estate work, real estate transactions and litigation, and some other things here and there in civil practice, but at least half of my practice now is municipal work, or with specialty districts, which I really enjoy.
Marcia, can you go?
Sorry to interrupt, they're trying to get in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, any comments or questions? Go ahead, Larry.
Well, one of the questions I have is we need some guidance many times on the Robert's Rules of Order. So I want to make sure you're quite familiar with them to keep us straight.
Yes, absolutely. We were making notes while we were sitting here. So absolutely, that's one of the things we try and help with is procedural items. And we mentioned that we'd be happy to kind of maybe do an overview or a refresher of procedure. If there are things to keep in mind that help your meetings run more smoothly, and we want to see that. And it's also good for just making sure you're adhering to what you're supposed to be doing, which is also our job.
I almost looked to you to ask when we had a motion on the table that didn't go anywhere. So that, because there wasn't a second on the motion, is that okay to go away, or did it need to be addressed?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So those are the sorts of things that we'd be happy to, when you're ready, do a presentation and kind of go over. And, obviously most of our work will be responding to inquiries from the mayor and from the city manager about projects that they want us to review or weigh in on. But if there are things that come up that are of the legal nature where you do want a study session or for us to come and talk about that, we're available to do so, and would be happy to.
Okay, thank you. So since we're on that point, would that it would just need to, if it didn't get a second, if we asked for a second, then it would go away? Or
Yes, so you could do that. You could vote and vote against it, or you could withdraw your motion.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I should have just put the Drew. I just read it, but I just, yeah.
My understanding is a dot on the vine. If there wasn't a second, it wouldn't move forward. And then at that point, you could make a new motion.
Yes, yes. If there was no second, then it
Okay.
would, but it should be addressed. And so I guess if you make a motion, you realize that you made an error, you could withdraw it.
I wish,
Yeah.
yeah, next time I'll just.
And a follow-up,
It's cake culture.
a follow-up on that. If someone makes a motion, someone else wants to amend that motion, do you vote on the first motion first, or can the amendment be made right then?
You can make the amendment there, right?
Yeah,
Like,
so usually when a motion is made and then there wants to be a discussion. First you ask, like, can we have a discussion on this motion to then discuss whether you want to amend it, and then it's decided, okay, do we want to withdraw the previous motion and adopt a new one, or, and so that's sort of it's not make or break. Yeah, motion passed, it's fine, sorry, there's a fly.
I know, he's been bugging me too.
I thought you were.
So that's after it's seconded, before they do a final vote, then you can talk about if someone wanted to amend a motion. in that
Yes,
point.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And I do think we have a slide presentation that addresses many of these questions, like
Okay.
already that we've used before, so.
Oh, great.
They're common questions and.
Okay.
So we can set that up, right?
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
set that up on the agenda in the future. Right. Anything else? So are we ready for a motion? And
Yeah, I think
Yes,
if,
we would like-
I think it's a simple motion to, proceed to get, direct the city manager to, put the proposal together and move forward with them being on board, hopefully at our next meeting.
so if you want to use the last names, it's Bunick and Harding
Yeah,
in the motion.
I move to approve attorneys Munich and Harding as city attorneys for the city of Phoenix.
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Vermillion,
There's no, I
Yes.
assume there's no discussion, right? We're moving it. All right. I think it's clear.
Counselor Shunk,
Yes.
Counselor Cambros,
Yes.
Counselor Sweetos.
Yes.
Counselor Chester.
Yes.
And Counselor Dixon.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We look.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much.
Good.
touch.
All right. Now we're going to move ahead to the next item, Soretti membership discussion. I'll let Eric start out before I make my comments on it.
Sure, yeah, I think, what Al and I talked about this, we have concerns. A lot of entities are concerned about what do we get for our membership? And, there's a group that's, it's a regional group that has various members, if not all the cities, try to participate in as a member, maybe not as an active board member or anything like that, but basically it's our contribution towards regional economic development, which we have some projects, for instance, PH5 as the number one that has a huge economic development potential in terms of the size and its location near the I-5 corridor. So anyway, but they're a group that's in transition. They're recently their executive director left Soretti, and they're in the process of hiring a new director. And I'm not sure exactly where that in the process. I haven't seen any final decision made. But given the fact that there is that transition, I think perhaps the best way to move forward is to go ahead with expressing concerns, and we can certainly do that, but move forward with our contribution, which we budgeted to move forward, and give it a year and see what kind of hopefully activity that we see that's going to help not only cities, counties, businesses expand or relocate to this area, this region, and because that's an important thing to have is that regional perspective on economic development, and that's what they represent. anyway, Al, I don't know if you.
Yeah, I mean, so everyone knows it's Southern Oregon Regional Economic Development Institute, Soretti. And we pay roughly $1,300 a year. And I maintain that we really don't get much for it. They deal in much larger industrial searches, and we would hope that they would help us with PH5 and the challenges we have there. But as far as the downtown and so forth, everyone here now understands about our advisory committee and what they're doing. And that is really our Soretti, our local Soretti, if you will. And they're the ones that are really going to turn things around. The mayors of the valley, I'm part of that group. I think there's a general concern about Soretti and what is done for everyone. So that's being addressed. So I talked with Eric about it, and we're going to try it for another year. But there has to be changes there, and there is a group of people working on that to make them more responsive. We'll see. I'm not that optimistic because we're taking our own initiatives now, and you all know about that. And that's what's going to bear fruit for us, I think, in the long run. But we'll give it another shot. We'll see how it goes, and that's about all I can say. I've never seen them do anything to help us. All right, nothing. I can't point to one thing, and we've been paying probably $1,300 for I don't know how many years. And Larry, we keep doing it.
Yeah, I've been familiar with Soretti, even part of it back in the 90s. And you're right. I haven't seen anything significant come out of that group. But
yeah,
but a lot of it has to do with what comes out of Salem too. And it puts a lot of restraints on what we can do or
right.
Yeah. Anyway.
You're
committed to any sort of substantive development in the Rogue Valley that you could point to? Any larger regional employers come in?
I think they've been involved in White City, but I don't know the details.
It's been here for quite a while though.
Yeah.
Plus years.
And why buy another year?
I mean, I had a contact with Soretti after the fire, and he was trying to help us, but nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
It just never occurred. So anyway, so I guess what we're looking for tonight is just a motion of confidence again from all of you that you agree that we move forward one more year. But if nothing happens, I'm going to come back to you and say, that's it, because that's not a good use of taxpayer dollars.
What if
okay?
you contact them and have them convince you to stay? Say you're gonna withdraw and then.
Well, I can send you the list of what they do and you'll read it and you'll go, well, that has nothing to do with Phoenix. Okay. And so that's the problem.
What's the pull? Yeah. What's the pull for one more year?
Well, wait, because I think there's a movement, by other mayors and myself to formally address the issue for the first time. And we're hoping that a letter with many mayors' signatures on it will convince them that we're serious, particularly if it's from larger cities like Medford. I don't know what they pay, but maybe it's 50, 60,000 a year. And so that's the way to get their attention.
Yes.
When's the building?
Okay. Yeah.
When's the building?
And say, either listen to us or else.
That's kind of what I mean, like pull the money.
Well,
Do they provide grants or something? What do they do?
no.
How do they?
Would you like,
help us?
okay. This is a great idea. We need to have them come in and give a briefing.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Would you like that?
When is the building? Can they come and tell us what they do?
Yeah.
They're willing to put the legwork to come here.
Yeah.
It's back in when 6 years ago they did, and I thought it was a great idea, but I haven't seen anything happen in the last
Okay.
6 years either.
Here, Eric, this is what I'm hearing. Could we invite Soretti to send a representative here and say, we're coming up on renewal. We'd like to know why we should renew. Would all of you like to hear that?
That would be great.
What does
All
our
right.
$1,300 get us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I think, in transition on staff, so difficult, but I think the chair certainly should be able to make himself available.
Okay.
Maybe they could zoom in or something.
Is that what the council will, I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than spend
And
the
it
taxpayer
makes them
money.
focus on a little bit more,
All
like,
right.
what do we want to do for Phoenix? Yeah.
Put them on official notice.
Yeah.
What has, one of the questions is, since our relationship has begun with Phoenix, what tangible benefit have you been able to provide the population of Phoenix?
Mhm.
I think that's a legitimate question, especially because of taxpayer dollars going to this organization.
Mhm.
They need to be held accountable for providing some sort of service or support.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I did go to one breakfast.
You getting an omelet doesn't count.
But, it was interesting, but that's all I can say.
I think Eric, was there some interaction with Pacwall when Pacwall came that Soretti was kind of saying,
Okay.
we did something, but Pacwall came on their own before Soretti got there. Is that the general?
I'd say sad that we that project work.
What's the difference? Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the end of the day, on our own,
We're doing it on our own.
Yeah, Irac Chamber, there's a lot
Yeah,
of traction going on. with
It's
those.
coming from within. It's not coming from without at all.
focus.
Okay. So,
But, and Soretti is more regional. So if they were to do something significant, it could benefit residents of Phoenix by providing jobs, but it'd be outside of the city. So in that regard, there's some benefit, but it's.
well, they have something called traded sector. And I guess the question is, how many people in Phoenix go to work at Amy's Kitchen or in White
Yeah.
City,
Are they working on anything closer that maybe people could commute to?
Yeah.
Realistically.
Right. Okay. So,
I'll invite the chair and
yeah,
have them give them an update. If there's things happening with the director position, other things, yeah, obviously we haven't had any, but I think having them come here. makes sense.
yeah, it'd be great. And, I mean, we have to delay it if they're close to making a decision on someone new and, having them come in, whatever. I'll let you do that. So, okay, great. That's the sense of the council. So,
I mean, for instance, I think actually they decided that they wouldn't allocate, but they would pay them for the fee for service.
right. Ashland was basically said, we're not interested. So,
Okay.
okay, good. Appreciate it. That's excellent. Okay, so no further actions taken on that. That's held in abeyance for now. And we're moving on then to public hearings. We have none. So staff reports, normally we start with the city attorney, but tonight we will pass on that. To be continued at a later date, certainly. Okay, Eric,
No, I just appreciate for the past, huge dividends and of course having an attorney on the board will be working through issues, around scheduling and, for instance, if it's not necessary for them to be here, we can talk about that. But I see more communication happening between staff and the attorney and the day-to-day things that are coming up, especially when it comes to council, city council agenda. We're learning through the attorney's office. So anyway, we move forward with both these things.
okay, and community development director, I see Zach is not here tonight. There's nothing to report in that area.
I did have a question about the water project out of the PH5 and how that's doing. A little progress report on that?
Yeah, so I drove up again today to go see and took a picture. So you get all of it.
See the power.
Yeah, it's making a big presence and we're already talking about when it's done, put another fire cam up there because it has such a sweeping view of the entire area. Phoenix and where we're growing. So yeah, making progress and it's exciting to see happen. Yeah. Rosa put together in our newsletter, kind of an update with that. Right. Yeah.
Can you remind us where to go to look at that fire camera again? Do you remember where it's at that you
Watch
showed?
duty.
What is on watch duty?
Watch duty.
Okay. Okay,
No, they'll have.
click on. Okay,
Check the windows.
yes, yeah, kind of like that, I bet.
Okay, Chief? I've got some things if you'd come up. I've got a list. Well, he and I interact in all sorts of interesting ways, but I think everybody, bear with me here, just some things that that we've talked about a little bit. Weed abatement, can you sort of
So we
tell
are,
everybody where we were at on that?
we should, at the next council meeting, we'll have a, staff report, actually a new ordinance that changes the height of weeds that we allow. We'll also be updating the truck ordinance. There's one other one.
Okay.
I think just some thoughts, some concern about. And to. This.
Okay, so yeah, the truck ordinance and I haven't heard any more complaints about the Endeavor trucks. I think whatever you've done is.
Well, hopefully, I don't know if any of you have driven by down C Street, but we put the no truck signs all the way down C Street, so hopefully that's rectified. But I know that my guys are looking for it.
Okay,
so
good. Just eventually, I think the citizens want some final not answer, but a status on speeding. So I noticed the survey was out on Facebook and that was good. So the public has had a chance to see the entire survey that you did. And the speed trailer, is that pretty much concluded now or we continue?
Oh, no,
you're still going to move around?
Yeah,
okay.
That'll be
all right.
All the time thing.
All right. I guess some of the people I'm guessing want to get a quote final report on their complaints about speeding. And we've met some of them, but there are other people on, all those streets over there. I'm just wondering how we can do that to sort of conclude that at least the current discussions and say, we've looked, you looked at and this is where we're at.
Okay, I'll get with Lieutenant Price. He's the one that downloads all the data and things like that, and we'll.
Okay.
We've also looking for that kind of long period, so we've got some time to give to what school traffic looks like.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big thing is school traffic. That's when we get most of our complaints. People complaining about the high schoolers driving too fast and things like that. So we'll be setting it up in the areas where the high schoolers travel the most on their way to and going home from school.
Okay. Okay, good. Let me see what else here. I talked to him about drones and because it came to me, whether it's a good idea or a bad, but the helicopter pad, we have people sometimes out there and we have people obviously along the greenway that once in a while camp in our area. So I was wondering about the use of drones to just monitor those areas. And then the chief came back and, the challenges of having a drone program, the costs are really substantial. So I don't know whether there's another way to do it. Is there any other police department that has drones? That we could, share
Eagle Point has one, has a drone program. Medford has a drone program, and I believe the sheriff's office also has a program. But I do have a couple of my guys looking into it as far as if there are some more grants available, because as I discussed in our email about there are grants available. Definitely, it would be pretty easy to get the equipment itself. However, it's the FAA training for the drone pilot and things like that. That's where your costs really come in. So I have them looking at that, and we'll find out soon if it's a viable option right now.
Is it too early to ask what a ballpark cost would be for that program?
Without the equipment, so if we get the grants for the drones themselves and things like that. To get certified, it's basically you have to go to flight school, basically what it is, literally.
Yeah.
Because I looked into becoming a private pilot, and then we discussed this at the Chiefs conference last year about how much it costs, and I'm like, man, that's the same as being a pilot, so.
We
it's
can get a
about-
helicopter and train them up. And
It's about $15,000.
I have a question about that. While I can see the value in the drone for the public areas, is there some restriction as to where it can fly or like going over people's private yards?
That would all be set up in policies and procedures.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's
I can see questions coming.
right.
I know we're not having a full discussion on it, but.
You're in their backyard.
Yeah,
Barbecuing, you don't want our drone coming in there and.
Her backyard is right next to the area you'd be looking at. That's why she's asking.
I had one recently from a real estate. The property next to me was for sale back in May, and all of a sudden, me and my neighbor were like, it's around dusk, and all of a sudden, there's this like drones hovering around our yards and like looking at our building, and we were like, what is happening? And the next day, I saw it was listed.
Yeah.
I was like, it was just the real estate.
several-
But it's kind of weird when you see a drone
Certain
like
family
hovering on
members are
your property.
realtors, and that's the big
Yeah.
thing now. And they're all.
Yeah.
I was curious just because of some of our fire prone areas that are tough to access.
Mhm.
If a drone would be viable to keep an eye on those, even though they're technically out of our jurisdiction.
I think it would be very viable. I think it would help a lot along the Greenway,
Mhm.
monitoring that area.
Because you want to be putting officers as near as risk, knocking on tent, so to speak.
Yeah.
The helicopter pad being county owned, you still go in there? Does the county have a problem if the city goes in there to get people out?
Oh, no, they love it when we do that.
Do their work.
Saves them a lot of time and money.
So-
But
I was looking at the helicopter pad one day up there because I wanted to see where that fire was, because I was out of town then. And then it just came to me that, nobody wants to walk in there with those weeds and all, it's horrendous. And the only answer is a drone to fly over these areas and check them. And I understand drones can sense heat sources so they can, tell you there's a campfire going on here. So I think it would be very useful if somehow we could work either singly or with other municipalities, police department, whatever, to do it. So I appreciate you just continuing to look at that.
Or are there businesses in the area that you could use their services?
so they're what?
Businesses in the area that do that type of work that you can use their services?
I have not,
There's like this one drone dude I know, and it's Sky Lakes Media, I think it
Right.
is.
drone dude.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Drone
dude.
No, I did have, somebody approached me, it was about 5 or 6 years ago.
Mm.
Said, hey, I'm a drone pilot, is it something you want, I can help you with? And, at the time it wasn't on our radar, so,
Oh.
but.
I mean, there are people in Phoenix that are drone pilots. I know of a couple of them. But,
I'm trying to remember
I-
his name. I think it's
I'm
Mark.
not going to approach them to start, doing this type of
Yeah,
thing. It's
anyway, yeah.
inappropriate, Anyway, okay, that was a comment. Let me say, I have a couple more or must, yeah. On block parties, I think whoever I sent the grants pass has got a procedure.
That was the other one I was. That was the other
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that's,
So
so.
we'll be
Yeah,
working on
because
it.
you had a block party, but you
Yeah.
live you have a
I
cul-de-sac there,
live on a
so.
dead end, so it
but-
was easy, but.
But if you don't have a
don't, you
cul-de-sac,
Find something in the
Yeah,
neighborhood.
so we'll be putting together an ordinance for to get permits for block parties.
That's
Okay,
great.
so it'd
There's
be a-
some people right now that I see regularly at the dog park with Julia McFadden and her neighbor Sammy. They're planning one right now and they got some poster up in their neighborhood with the QR code on it, trying to get people to decide what date and time and stuff. And I'm kind of working with them a little bit for the procedure because we don't really have any. So
Right.
we're just basing it off of what I did in the past, which the city already approved. So yeah,
anyway, just so we have. a
hoping to
record.
refine it each time it happens so that it can be easier and easier for people in our community to hold them because it really bonds the fibers of the neighborhoods together well.
Okay,
Yep.
next thing.
Yes, you got.
So I was talking to some people in Mobile Home Park and I mentioned, and I remember this came out after the fire evacuation thing here. And I'm wondering, I mean, these people don't have color printers, I'm sure. So I'm just wondering about how many people in Phoenix have this. And I explained to her about Jackson County. You can go on the Jackson County website, emergency management area, and, you know, you can see these things and, you know, theoretically print them out. But we're talking about older people with limited capability. I'm just wondering about getting this out to them. Because I told her, you know, I'm in, what, 12, yeah. And she didn't know anything about this, so.
Do they have community bulletin boards? Because maybe we give them a big copy.
Well, there aren't really any community bulletin boards right now, even in the mobile home parks.
By like the
Yeah.
HOA, the community center they have there.
Some have community centers and some don't. This woman is one that, she's in the south one there, that doesn't have a community center. Yeah. So I'm just wondering about that, how to get the word out again to people, about so, you know, I told her again, it's, what is it on here? White, we just mentioned it before.
Watch duty?
Watch duty, thank you. Yeah, I've got watch duty. I explained to her about watch duty. And the fact that on there, they reference all these numbers all the time. And then she had no idea of that. So I'm just wondering how we get.
Presupposes a smartphone and internet access, which not everybody has.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
she had a
I think it kind of parallels with the newsletter. I know we had a plan to make it available, paper copies to the residential managers. And I know we did a know your zones.
Know your zone.
That's a great idea.
So, I mean, we can repeat that or find some way to
I
get
think
the managers to.
we need to do it again.
I think where we left off was that you had the contacts for some of the mobile home areas and you were going to connect them to me. And I don't think that might have just not happened. And then I can definitely create maps and get more information out
Okay,
there.
You want me to send you the contact?
That'd be great.
All right.
Thank you.
I forgot
That's
to
what I
do
would
that,
love.
huh?
I said it in a really nice way. But
All
yes.
right, all right, see?
Very nice. Yeah.
You got to remind me. Okay, yeah, no, I have them. Okay, I'm making a note now. All right, good. Keep me honest. All right. That's good. Okay, anything else on that? Oh, just point of interest. Tomorrow I'm going to jail. So Nicole and I are touring the county jail. I've heard it's not a nice place.
It is not. It is.
Yeah. And
It's not nice.
but we need to see it and maybe I'm thinking about how I could get involved in maybe a new jail process, which I'd come and talk to you about sometime. Anyway,
Badly needed, I'm sure.
we're going to tour it tomorrow. I think that's all for you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's great.
Thanks, Chief.
You're very responsive and, okay, well, no, normally I go around the table here. And then I'll do that before I get more. You're good.
Me too.
All right. All right, let me go through here. You know me, I'm out and about all the time. So kudos, I guess, to Chris, the wires that have been hanging for a year at Rose and Oak Street. They were being removed today and those were CenturyLink wires that have been hanging and the kids been playing with them for years. They're finally gone, thank God. So that was great. Strategic planning's coming up, as we all know, so I look forward to seeing you all there. I've already created my first list of things I want to talk about. The Planning Commission, we do have one vacancy. Did you get anyone applying yet? Okay, all right, well, we'll see what happens there. Say again?
Planning has an opening.
It has an opening, yeah. Mylan Hanson did resign, so there's an opening there.
And Parks is gonna have one coming up.
Yes, Diane Rasmussen is
That's right.
going to resign at the end of this month.
Okay.
So those are two.
I'll take the news to the streets.
Right, take the news to the streets, yeah. So as Pam said tonight, we're probably at some point going to have to look at changing the ordinance again on Parks and Recs to have the chair or vice chair come quarterly to make a presentation of what's going on. And Pam gave us a nice presentation tonight of events, so I appreciate that, Pam. Okay, let me see here. Well, we've had the Blue Heron concerts going on, and I sent everyone information on that. Attended Pam Marsh's briefing yesterday, talking about what went on and what didn't go on with our state government. I could go on for hours on that if you were interested. See me privately on that. Went to the Pacific Flats ribbon cutting ceremony, and that's the ones you're driving north. It's a 3-story on the right, affordable housing. And it was a wonderful experience. I was accompanied by Virginia Camberos there, and Nicole Suetos was there also. Virginia talked in Spanish to the group there, and 72 2- and 3-bedroom units. We toured them, fabulous. If you want to comment on anything. What was interesting is 2 families spoke up that are residents of this place. One family was from Afghanistan, and the other lady was a Spanish speaker, and told their stories of why they're there and why they really appreciate that housing. So it was wonderful. And then my wife was there, and I don't even see these things. We come in there, and there's a green space right next to the road, and she says, "Al, that's got to be a park." And she's right for the people. So I don't know. We're going to talk to them, but they need to put up some type of fence and have some benches and all, and trees out there and so forth, because there's very few parks in that area. But the area right now is just green grass, and it obviously needs to be turned into a park for those people. They have
Maybe $1,300.
yeah. So anyway, it was great though. I was glad I went to that ribbon cutting. It was fun.
I think it adds like, it was close to 100 units, I think, was it 80 something?
72 units there. Yeah, yeah. So it was really, really a enjoyable experience. Okay, we've got next to the Foodary, the 2 buildings, and the one in the back is now partially filled with Northwest Ceramics. They're in there, and it's if you go in there and stand in there at that level and look towards the mountains, fabulous view. And in fact, I mentioned to them, if we had turned that into residential housing up on the 2nd floor, you're talking $800,000 condo for somebody looking out to the east. I mean, it's, if it was set up that way, unbelievable. So there are trees in front of that area. They are, I forget Pam, do you know the name of those trees? It's not sumac, it's something like that. Tree of Heaven, thank you, I knew you'd know. So there's Tree of Heaven there, they're invasive, they're horrible, and I told the people at the ceramic shop, Eric Heron's gonna submit a request to cut them down because they're on city property, he'll do it, and they need to come down, it's horrible. And then while I was there, the head of the ceramic outfit, name is Jeff, he said, "Oh, by the way, we love Phoenix. We're going to create a special mural there. They're learning about it in Crescent City, and they're going to create a mural of whatever size we want." And another unbelievable experience. People are going crazy about our town, okay? I keep getting these stories all the time. So the ceramic studio is taking the group over to Crescent City. In Crescent City, you and Nicole, there are all these murals.
Yeah.
I think they're pieces of glass or whatever, something. And we're going to get one. Unbelievable.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And so it's really, really great. And then something that is really interesting, Krista Vector, who I've been talking to for years, has signed a lease to put in a butcher shop next to Starbucks. And it's called La Fuente Market. And I just talked to Virginia about it. She said she doesn't understand what the word fuente means. So she's going to go and talk. It won't work. In other words, it's screwed up.
Yeah, it's, La Fuente means the fountain.
Fountain.
And-
No, that doesn't connect with.
Virginia thought it meant something else, and she's filed it as the name of her place already without consulting.
Yeah.
So you gotta
Hmm.
talk to her.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you have her phone number.
I-
So La Fuente Market is going next to Starbucks. I think there was it's called a meadery that was in there.
Yeah.
You know, type of.
Oh, the meadery, yeah.
Meadery was in there. So, yeah, and that's right. There was a certified. Yeah. So she's going, she called me, said, come on over and look at where I'm going. And she said, you see that big hole in the floor, that the carcasses are gonna be hung above that. Oh, this is big
This is
time in
smart.
Phoenix. And I went, okay, as long as you get it approved. And she's going through the process. So that's interesting. Somebody told me, and I can't remember where it was, but I think these stats are correct. 84,000 people go through Blue Heron Park every year, which I thought was impressive. That comes out to 230 people a day. And on August 16th, there were 700 people. That was the highest number so far. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. And then Yossi Verbena, who's run the Blackberry Academy down at Blue Heron Park, another first for Phoenix. She's the first licensed outdoor nature-based preschool in Oregon. So we got it here, okay?
And she's having an opening ceremony coming up that I was going to pull
Yeah.
for you guys to see.
So let me see. Oh, okay. And then the other thing with our concerts in the park, it's become obvious that, and this is something that we have to look at talking about our parks. The band shell was put up as a volunteer project several years ago. And now when it's used during the day, the performers out in front, and it was Rogue Suspects. So I had a picture taken with all three singers, and that was the height of my day that day. Anyway, they have these iPads, I guess, with the music or whatever out there in front. And of course, the sun is hitting them, and they can't use the iPads because it's so hot that the technology is unusable. So the top of the band shell needs to come out a few feet to the edge of the stage. We need to completely look at the band shell if we're really going to have concerts there, okay?
And road access.
And well, road access. The other thing, the baseball dugouts at Culver Park are looking bad.
They
And
just fixed
did
it.
they fix them all? Okay, I haven't been there. You're the expert.
Not the little hideouts or whatever they're called.
Yeah, yeah,
Dugouts.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
but the field, they just did the field. Field looks right.
Okay, but I'm talking about the dugouts there.
Yeah.
They fixed it. Okay, great, good. And then the path is fixed too, pretty much all right?
No, the path is not fixed.
Okay, the path needs to be worked. Anyway,
No,
some,
Culver was like in process. The-
Yeah,
The
yeah.
parking lot's half done.
no, so just a few things there. And the bathroom at Blue Heron was a mess, I guess. So the toilet's got to be cleaned before we have concerts, or maybe eventually we need porta potties. Anyway, these are all things we're learning about as we, have all these events.
I have a question about the butcher. How are they gonna deal with their biohazard disposal?
How are they going to deal
Well,
with
if
it?
she's slaughtering animals.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know what they're going to
Like, is it
do.
gonna run off into our water?
I think it's pretty high rated.
I think, yeah, it's totally regulated and she's following the procedures.
Is this
Some of,
national?
some of it
Yeah,
is going
there's-
to be carcasses that are, already hung and are cleaned and all that. But anyway, yeah, no, she,
Curious if this is the same butcher that was in Ashland and caused problems with her farm.
it is.
Someone ought to look into that.
Okay. It is the same person, that's correct. But they have to follow the rules.
Well, that's what they told her over there too.
I'm not gonna get into that. I can't comment on the. But yeah, I would say they follow the rules for us,
Okay.
we all follow the
Well, we
rules.
wouldn't want our new springs to be contaminated with pig blood,
Okay,
right?
I will send you her contact information. I think that would be a good thing really for you to ask and have her explain. And she should be able to explain it to you, okay? That's really,
Okay.
Yeah, no, she should. I agree with you. It should conform to whatever the requirements are. Okay. That's enough. We're adjourned.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you.
I'm like this